All right, let's go ahead and try to set up some menu items. This shows you all the different menu configurations. You can take a look at this to understand kind of how they work. The system is very configurable. You can really set it up however you like. This is just a brief introduction of how a possible setup may work. If you click the gear icon, here's where all your menu settings appear. There's quite a few of them, quite a few options, and it's very configurable. Let's start with categories. We're going to create a simple category called hot drinks. So this will be for anything that's hot, obviously. You can add an image later. Now let's create another category called cold drinks. That will give us a start. All right, once these are created, you can add some other things. So for instance, creamer options. You can add any of your creamers, oat milk, milk, half and half, etc. You can add a price modifier to them. For instance, if ever you have oat milk and then you're run out of oat milk, you can come in here to the edit and toggle the active. So it will temporarily remove that from the options until it's back in stock. We'll add one more, milk. And we'll add one final one, heavy cream. This is an expensive item, so we're going to add a price to add that. All right. Now let's go ahead and configure some sweetener options. You can add sugar, honey, half and half, Splenda, and all the other varieties that you have available. The maximum number allowed is the maximum number that the customer can pick. If it's 5, they'll only allow to pick up to 5. If it's 3, only 3, etc. Again, you can add an additional price and amount for these. We're going to have another one. All right, after we're done here, I want to show you one of the toggle options. Sorry. If you have decaf available for this particular drink, you can add those here. If there's decaf and half decaf, when it prompts, there will also be a regular that defaults. You don't need to put a default decaf option in. All right. One of the other things I want to show you real quick is a toggle option. This is a highly configurable portion. And again, it depends how you are setting up. So in this example, we're going to have a coffee option that can be blended or iced. Now, there's different ways to do this. You can put this toggle on a single coffee item, or you can create a separate iced coffee and blended coffee menu item. Whatever easier, whatever works for you. This is just one of the ways you can add any kind of options that you want the customer to be able to select. You can call it whatever you want. And at the bottom, It's showing you a presentation of what it will look like to the customer so you can get an idea of how this works. All right. Once you have that done, go back to the menu. This is a custom option. This also allows specific categories for anything else that's not covered under the order. All of this stuff shows up under the item when the customer gets ready to order it on their app. All of this information is reflected over into the order as it comes through so that you can see exactly what the customer wants. Now we have our menu. So under the top level menu, you can start adding items. Let's start with a hot drink. This shows all the available things that this drink can have based on the prior selection. You can see the creamer options, sweetener options, drink sizes, etc. So we're going to start with a favorite of mine called Black Knight. This is $4. And we're going to go ahead and configure some drink sizes. So the very first one is the base price. This is what the $4 will be. You can call this whatever you want, and you can give it an out size. Size 2 then is the second size up. We're going to call this large. It's going to be 16 ounces, and it's going to cost an additional $1. This is off at the base size price. Now we're going to add another size. This is 24 ounces, and this is an additional cost. The additional cost is always off the base size. Okay? All right. So these are what the customer would be able to see when they are able to select something. So if you say select all the options will be available. Same thing with decaf. What you're trying to do is set up what the customer sees and is available to order. We're going to go ahead and add the blended item. So this is how it appears on your end on the menu. You can edit this item as well from here. Now let's switch over to the Coffee House app. That's the customer. As you can see now, this immediately reflects on the customer app. Shows the estimated pickup time, and then you have one hot drink in the menu item. This is where you can tell your customer to make it your favorite shop, and that way every time they bring up the customer app, it will default to your shop. This shows what the customer is actually seeing. There's your size options. As they click, you can see the price move. Right now, they're getting ready to pick something. It's either blended or iced. There's your decaf options. Notice how it says regular. That was not put in the configuration menu, so it just shows up as regular, as we only allowed the half calf on this one. There's your creamer options that show up with the additional price. There's your sweetener options. You can see how they can click up to 5 and only 5 because that's what was allowed. One of the nice features is they can save this as their favorite. So they can put everything they want. Maybe this is their normal morning pickup coffee. and they just want to be able to quickly select this on their way to work so that they can pick it up and not have to type all of this information in. So again, this is on the customer app. You can download the local coffeehouse customer to immediately see how it works and to help you configure your coffee shop. So now it is saved as my favorite. And you can see there the favorite called Morning Kickstart that they just configured. They press the plus button. It will add this immediately into the cart. And the store is closed, so we won't be able to order anything. Okay, so how does this work? We go back to the owner app. Now what we're going to do is we just press open store. The reason it works this way is if you're a small shop and you're the only person running the place and you're running late, you don't want people placing orders before you're there. So even though your store opens at 8 a.m., you don't get there till 8:15, they won't be able to place orders until you open your store. Same thing with closed store. You can close it early or stay late. That's what the order looks like. And they get a message on the honor system that the payment will be collected when they come to pick it up. This shows their order status. You notice on their end it says placed. Let's go back to the owner app orders, and there the order is. This is best run on iPad. However, I'm showing you the setup on how you can use this. I said iPad, but of course Android tablets work as well and are usually cheaper. So when you click confirmed, you've seen it and are working on the order. As the order progresses, you can press ready. And once again, this is immediately reflected on the customer app. When the customer comes and picks it up and pays for it, you can say complete. The order disappears from the customer app. They can see it in their past orders. And you as an owner can go into bookkeeping and see your sales. It also shows popular items, your weekly revenue,